Ever wondered how to make the perfect homemade mac and cheese? Well, look no further. Today, we're going to whip up a classic comfort food that's not only easy to make, but also incredibly delicious. All you need is some elbow macaroni, unsalted butter, all-purpose flour, a pinch of salt and pepper, a dash of mustard and garlic powder, milk, sharp cheddar cheese, parmesan, and optional breadcrumbs for that extra crunch. Ready to dive into this cheesy goodness? Here we go. First up, the pasta. It's the backbone of our mac and cheese. Now, the choice of pasta is crucial. You can go classic with elbow macaroni or be a maverick with a different pasta shape. Just make sure it's something with lots of nooks and crannies to hold onto the cheese sauce. To cook the pasta, bring a large pot of salted water to a rolling boil. Add your pasta and stir it occasionally to prevent sticking. We want to achieve that al dente texture, firm but not hard. So keep an eye on the clock and start taste testing a few minutes before the package's suggested cooking time. Once it's got that perfect bite, drain the pasta. But hold on, don't rinse it. We want to keep the starch on the pasta to help the cheese sauce cling. And there we have it, perfectly cooked pasta, ready to be cheesified. Now comes the magic, the cheese sauce. A celebration of flavor, a symphony of textures, and the heart of our homemade mac and cheese. It all begins with a 1/4 cup of unsalted butter melting over medium heat in the embrace of a large saucepan. As the butter dances and swirls, it transforms into a golden pool of flavor, ready to welcome the next players in our culinary performance. Next, we introduce a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and for a touch of optional flair, a 1/4 teaspoon each of mustard powder and garlic powder. Stir these in until well combined, letting them cook for about 1 to 2 minutes. This little bit of time on the heat helps to whisk away the raw flour taste, leaving us with the beginnings of a rich, savory roux. Now it's time to gradually whisk in 2½ cups of milk. The key here is patience. You want to ensure there are no lumps and that every ingredient is harmoniously blended. Continue to cook and stir, letting the mixture thicken over about 5 to 7 minutes. You'll see it transform before your eyes into a creamy, velvety base, the perfect canvas for our cheeses. Finally, the piece de resistance. Reduce the heat to low and add 2 cups of shredded sharp cheddar and half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Stir with love until the cheeses are fully melted, becoming one with the sauce, forming a smooth, creamy, and oh so flavorful concoction that is the very essence of comfort food. Voila! A smooth, creamy, and flavorful cheese sauce that's going to make our mac and cheese irresistible. Every ingredient has played its part. Every step has been worth it. We're ready to move on to the next stage of our mac and cheese creation. But for now, take a moment to appreciate the magic that is our homemade cheese sauce. It's time to marry our pasta and cheese sauce together. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for. The pasta has been patiently waiting, and it's time to introduce it to that creamy, rich cheese sauce. We don't just dump and hope for the best, no. We're going to do this right. With a gentle hand, start pouring the cheese sauce over your cooked pasta, making sure to distribute it evenly. We want every single elbow macaroni, or whatever pasta shape you chose, to be bathed in cheesy goodness. Stir gently but thoroughly. We're looking for a beautiful blend where each piece of pasta is well coated. This is the heart of your homemade mac and cheese. It's where the magic happens, where 2 simple ingredients come together to create something irresistibly delicious. This is comfort food at its finest, folks. Our mac and cheese is almost ready, but wait, there's one more step. For those who love a bit of crunch, this step is for you. Our homemade mac and cheese is already a symphony of creamy, cheesy goodness. But if you're a fan of texture, we've got a little trick up our sleeve. A breadcrumb topping. Now this is completely optional, but trust me, it adds a delightful crunch that contrasts wonderfully with the silky smooth cheese. Simply transfer your well-coated pasta into a baking dish and sprinkle a generous ½ cup of breadcrumbs evenly over the top. The breadcrumbs will toast up in the oven, providing a beautiful golden brown finish and a pleasing crunch to every bite. Once you're satisfied with your breadcrumb distribution, it's time to broil. Pop the baking dish under the broiler for just a few minutes, keeping a keen eye on it. You're looking for that perfect golden brown color, a telltale sign that your breadcrumbs are toasted to perfection. And voila, your homemade mac and cheese is ready to be served. Dish it up hot, letting the steam waft up and the cheese pull in long, delicious strands. Each bite is a perfect mix of creamy, cheesy, and crunchy, an absolute feast of textures and flavors that'll have you coming back for seconds, maybe even thirds. There you have it, the perfect homemade mac and cheese. Now it's your turn to try. Enjoy this delicious comfort food.